Social Security benefits will be going up in the new year. It's the biggest raise for recipients in 7 years. Local financial professional Mike Kojonen from Principal Preservation Services joins us to talk about what the increase means and ways to maximize benefits. Mike, as always, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about, how much of an increase are we talking about that these recipients will get?
Yeah, finally, like you said, it's the biggest one we've had in a while. 2.8% increase this year, which means if you get a $1,500 month benefit, it's about $42 a month is what that equates to. Last year was only a 0.3 increase. The year before was 0, so it's nice to get something. But unfortunately, that 2.8 is not keeping up with inflation. Yeah.
So not as significant maybe as we think.
It's still above the average, which at 2.8 is above the average of 2, but it's still not keeping up with inflation, so we have to look at other ways to maximize that.
Got it. So are there some rules or strategies that people should be aware of with this?
Yeah, the Social Security admits there's over about 2,700 different rules, so it's hard to talk about those tonight, but I'm going to go over a couple rules. I'm going to go over a strategy as well, because they said there's hundreds of strategies you can implement as well. Let's talk about first is the earnings test. A lot of people believe this is a tax. The earnings test is not a tax. It's actually a penalty. It's a little bit better than a tax. It's a temporary penalty. So if you want to collect Social Security before your full retirement age, before your 100% benefit, they say you can do that, but you have to make under $1,420 a month. That's the maximum you can make. So if you made $1,000 more than that $1,420 a month, it says for every $2 above that, they withhold $1 from your benefits. So they're going to withhold $500 from your Social Security benefits if you do that. Once you reach full retirement age, there's no limitations anymore, and anything they withheld, they'll readjust your benefit. So just be very careful, because if you take your Social Security early in work, it's not usually worth it. It's better to delay so you don't get locked in that lower number.
Okay. Yeah. Any other rules, or is that kind of the big one?
Well, that's a big one, but taxes as well. So unfortunately, they started taxing Social Security in 1984. So they passed an amendment in 83. And unfortunately, they haven't adjusted those tax brackets on Social Security since then, which isn't really fair. And so when a big part of your Social Security is for your retirement, you have to understand the rules and how to limit the taxes in retirement. And that's why we're big fans of, while you're working, to pre-plan, do Roth 401ks, do Roth IRAs. So when you take out your money in retirement, that means maybe less, or maybe not even all of your, maybe none of your Social Security will be taxed at all. And unfortunately, Minnesota is one of the higher tax states out there. There's one of the 13 states in the U.S. that taxes your Social Security. So you need to understand those rules.
And it's always about planning, as you mentioned. So how is the average retiree, or even if you're not a retiree yet, how are they supposed to really remember all this?
Yeah, it's hard. So you have to really work with somebody. There's so many different strategies you can do. Widow benefit, restricted application, so many different ways to do it. You really need to work with a professional who's going to pull it all together. So, we come to retirement, we talk about that three-legged stool. You have your Social Security, and you have a pension, hopefully, and you have your IRAs, 401ks, and 403bs. You want them all to work together. So you need to work with a professional who's going to pull it all together. What we found is majority of professionals don't understand it, and they give the wrong advice because they don't understand Social Security. But if that's making up 50 to 75% of your income retirement, you better work with somebody who understands that. And also, unfortunately, with the administration, everybody makes mistakes, but we've had several people go to Social Security and they were giving the wrong advice by their employees. So you really need to get educated before retirement to find out what is going to be the best for you, because it costs you tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in benefits.
All right. All good tips. Thanks so much, Mike. And the government is releasing